Social justice advocate, I'm often invited to give talks or to do workshops where I talk to white people about race. A big part of my praxis is to offer real life stories, examples, that type of thing, that help white people to be able to identify white supremacy in everyday life. My husband's family is white, and I often use a cultural difference.
All right, so I'm going to give you some context here before we get into this here. So you're going to hear this girl here try to describe and basically say that being on time and being punctual is a white supremacist ideology. And her example of it is how she experienced it with her husband or her boyfriend, who's a white dude, and where they went to a Thanksgiving dinner and it was supposed to start at like 12 o'clock. They showed up late. And when they showed up, everybody had started already eating. So therefore, they were, that was just an example of white supremacy that she explained or uses to explain how being on time is a cultural difference between white and black people. So she got some backlash. So we're going to watch, what she said about it. Then we're going to listen to some of the backlash that she got. And then she's going to also respond to the backlash. And then we'll talk about it.
Differences between my family and his family as a way to help white people see their whiteness. There's one example that I use that always gets a ton of pushback. My husband and I were late to our first Thanksgiving with his family. I say late because it started at 12. We got there at 12:10. But whenever we got there at 12:10, everybody was already sat down and eating. I didn't know that. I use this illustration to point out that different cultures have different understandings of time, lateness, and what it means to be polite. Without fail, a white person will push back and say that lateness is impolite. I always use this as a teachable.
It is. It's absolutely impolite. I cannot stand it. I'm not even gonna lie. That is one of my pet peeves. I hate being late, and I hate when people are late. Anybody that knows me, I'm pretty much on time, 99.9% of the time, on time to everything that I say I'm gonna show up to. Of course, there's some circumstances that you can't control. Besides all that, I can't stand it. It is absolutely impolite. It is, it's disrespectful. I mean, it's really just common decency. This is one thing that I don't get about these woke race hustlers. One, they always seem to be married or in a relationship with a white person. That's really just one of the most common theme that there is with these these anti-white black race hustlers. And then also, they always seem to correlate anything that's civilized to white people. Being on time, things like the nuclear family, things like, law and order. they always seem to correlate all these things to white supremacy, and therefore making white people to be more superior. If you're correlating just basic civilness to white people, you're basically saying they're superior than you. You don't know how to be civil. I mean, am I the only one that sees this here? This is absolutely mind-blowing. Anything that is literally just basic human decency, they seem to correlate to white supremacy. And, I mean, things like math. I've seen a video not too long ago where they said math is white supremacy. Being on time, clearly, like she said, is white supremacy. I do not understand it. You're literally just upholding the white supremacist ideology by saying white people are the only ones that can act civilly and, and just know how to be a decent human being. It's crazy to me. Let's keep going.
Moment. I usually ask a series of pointed questions that challenge their assumptions. Sometimes it takes a lot of work. But by the end, they're able to identify how white cultural dominance works in this one small area of life, which opens the door for them to start peeling the onion.
Yeah, somebody's definitely peeling onions, because everything I just heard stinks.
Yeah, so let's listen to the backlash that she got from TikTok and social media, and then we'll get into her response to this.
I would just love to see the evidence for how punctuality was invented by white people. Being on time is not exclusive to white people, and being late is not exclusive to black people.
Facts.
It's called not being a narcissist and acknowledging, observing, as well as respecting someone else's time. Black time isn't a real thing, right?
Right.
It's just something that some black people use and say to make it seem as if being late is somehow quirky and fashionable and inherent to their nature. When in reality, late people exist within all races and ethnicities. This isn't inherent whatsoever, and they just need an explanation for why they love wasting everybody's time. Being on time is not about upholding
Facts.
supremacy. It's about
Facts.
respect and being socially aware enough to acknowledge those around you. But if you want to make the argument that white people have a monopoly on respect and human decency, go ahead, I guess.
Peep this. So 6 months ago, I made this video talking about the aspect of white culture that I get the most pushback on whenever I do anti-racism workshops. And people were big.
I don't understand how these people are anti-racist coaches or whatever the hell they claim themselves to be. And they're literally in a relationship with, I'm telling y'all, any white person that dates people like these race hustlers, these woke activists, bro, you are a loser. I'm gonna tell you this right now. Any of you white dudes watching this channel, watching this video, if you're dating a black woman who is an activist, a race hustler, who hates your race, and you're with this woman, you are a loser. You are a freaking loser. You are a part of the problem. You're part of the problem. You're what they call the apologist. You're literally just fucking being a white knight. Get that out of here, man. Nobody respects you. Nobody respects you. And this is crazy to me. They always seem to be with these white dudes. AOC, who else? Ilhan Omar, I think she got a white dude. Who else? I mean, all these race hustlers, all of them. Kamala Harris got a white dude. You can keep going and on and on and on. It really blows my freaking mind, bro. It makes no sense.
Big upset
with
at
that
the time.
big ass Don King afro she got on with that gray hair. How old is she?
People were so upset about what I said at the time. And 6 months later, it might not be that long. I feel like I did it sometime last fall, whenever it was. But people are still upset and they are still carrying on in the comments about this. And because I guess I have some videos that are doing well, this video is like popping back up in people's algorithm. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, because people are so upset. White people are so upset in the comments of this video.
It's not just white people.
I just really need for y'all to be for real right now.
Yeah.
Be for freaking real. I have had people tell me that I'm making the story up. I've had people tell me that I was being inconsiderate. I've had people telling me all sorts of things about myself and justifying away for themselves this thing that I'm just saying. There's a cultural difference between black people and white people and how we perceive time and how we interact with time. It's very simple. And I'm telling this story. I am in an interracial marriage. And I talked about the first time that I went to Thanksgiving dinner with my husband and his family. And we were late. I didn't realize that we were going to be late. We were late by like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever the heck the time frame was. It was like really close to me to the start of the event.
You were late.
And we show up and his family has already sat down and they have already started getting their food and eating. And I'm completely bewildered because I'm like, the thing started at noon and it's like 12:10, it's 12:15, whatever time it was.
Right.
We're here. Why is food started? Because in my cultural context, if we say that food started at noon, food don't start at noon. Food at the absolute earliest that you're going to be eating, the absolute earliest, we say noon, the earliest you're going to be eating is 1:30. I said that. And so anyway, I said that. I made a cultural faux pas because I didn't know what was going on. And so I said that this is that example is something that gets so much pushback from white people. So what happens in the comments? People start pushing back. And so it's much easier for these white people to believe that I'm lying, that I'm making up the story, that I'm rude and inconsiderate, than it is for them to take a moment to think, oh my gosh, maybe there's a cultural difference. No, time has zero racial component. Come on, be for freaking real, my God.
Yeah, I mean, there you have it, right? There you have it. Once again, another woke race hustler proving to us that she actually believes in white supremacy. Then she leads to believe in her own mind. It's absolutely hilarious. Anything, like I said, that is considered civil, anything that's like, just basic human decency, they believe white people created it. So therefore making white people superior. And they don't even realize that. But anyway, I thought this was absolutely hilarious. Let's talk about it in the comment section. Make sure you guys hit the like button down below. If you enjoy the content, hit the subscribe button with the notification bell so you get reminded every time I bring a brand new video. Thanks for being here. See you on the next one. Peace.